Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Srimad Bhagavatam, commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda ji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So, in today's episode, we are going to discuss the ridiculing of Duryodhana. Yesterday, we had studied about the mystical meaning of the death of Shishupal and that scene. So, after the glorious performance of Rajasuya Yagya had been completed, everyone present rejoiced at the prosperity of King Yudhishthir, Queen Draupadi, and other virtuous Pandav brothers, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakul, and Sahadev. Everyone, that is, except the arrogant Duryodhan, eldest of the Kauravas, the evil-minded cousin of the Pandavas. Duryodhana's heart burned with jealousy when he lingered after the ceremony to further explore the extraordinary assembly hall that had been created for Yudhishthir by the divine architect Maidanav. Indeed, this was a most unique structure with optical illusions making it difficult to tell the difference between water and solid floors, between open space and walls. Because of these myriad illusions, Duryodhana found himself hopelessly caught in one embarrassing situation after another as he bumped into walls that seemed transparent, lifted his hem on dry land that looked like water, and stumbled into ponds that seemed like dry land. Seeing his awkwardness, Bhima, Draupadi, and other princes and royal ladies found it impossible to contain their amusement and they roared with laughter. Although Yudhishthir tried to silence them, Krishna kept still, secretly smiling. Indeed, it was the will of Krishna, carried out as he confused the mind of Duryodhana, that allowed the whole incident to occur. Duryodhana never forgot the ridicule and laughter. It kindled in his heart a sense of revenge towards the Pandavas and Draupadi, which was a major precursor of the great Mahabharata war and therefore an important step towards the eventual destruction of the demoniac Kauravas. The assembly hall in which Duryodhana was ridiculed refers to the chitta or unconscious that has developed pure impressions. So this is the mystical meaning. Duryodhana represents the lower egoistic aspect of our personality which cannot understand divine order and harmony. From ego standpoint, the divine hall of purity seems baffling, and that is not viewed in a joyous way. When the intellect symbolized by Draupadi and the other royal ladies becomes purer and sharper due to the practice of reflection and self-introspection, it begins to laugh at the errors of the lower egoistic self instead of approving of them. It learns to keenly observe the negative forces in one's personality and to laugh at the dull-witted way one is made to behave due to those negative impressions. When that happens, we know that the Mahabharata war is going to commence in all seriousness. Once the Draupadi within us has challenged the Duryodhana within us, a good fight has begun. Like Duryodhana, the negative forces within us do not like being observed and ridiculed, so they do whatever they can to see the intellect degraded and rendered impure. Thus, the fight cannot be won for the purified intellect and the forces of virtue until an intensive spiritual struggle has taken place. The Mahabharata war represents intense sadhana or spiritual discipline, a process of purification in which the forces of light, Pandavas, battle with the forces of darkness, Kauravas, within the heart of a true aspirant. Each time we slacken our sadhana, our ego degrades our intellect. Each time we intensify our sadhana, our intellect degrades our ego. This process continues until the Mahabharata war has been fought to the finish and the lower self has been completely defeated. Next episode, the destruction of Shalwa, Dantavakra, and Viduratha. After the demoniac king Shishupal was beheaded by Krishna during the Rajasuya Yagya ceremony, several of his friends became obsessed with the desire to avenge his death. One of the greatest among those demoniac friends was Shalwa. Shalwa had made a resolution to rid the earth of Krishna and all his relatives, the Yadavas. Keeping that goal in mind, Shalwa practiced intense austerity, meditating on Lord Shiva for a full year. When Shiva appeared before him, Shalwa asked for and was granted a special invincible aerial car or Viman which could go anywhere in the universe and could not be destroyed by anything or anybody. In addition, that vehicle had the magical ability to contract and expand according to the will of Shalwa. Placing his entire army and a vast arsenal of weapons in that Viman, Shalwa attacked Dwarka, Lord Krishna's island kingdom, which he knew that Krishna was still away visiting the Pandavas. When Shalwa began to hurl weapons at the residents of Dwarka, Pradyumna, Krishna's son, came forth in his chariot to fight against Shalwa, accompanied by Yadava warriors. In this terrible battle, Shalwa used many magical powers. Sometimes the vehicle would be seen, sometimes it would disappear. At one point, Dyuman, Shalwa's minister, hurled a great mace at Pradyumna. Receiving a tremendous impact against his chest, Pradyumna fainted, but his chariot driver drove him away from battle and brought him back to consciousness. From far away, Krishna became aware that something was wrong at home. So he and all his family quickly returned to Dwarka and saw the city being invaded by Shalwa. Krishna entered the battlefield and a terrible fight ensued. At one point during the battle, Shalwa disappeared and a strange personality came before Krishna saying that Krishna's father had been kidnapped by Shalwa. Then Shalwa reappeared, exhibiting the head of Vasudeva. Krishna was momentarily shocked to see that head, but very soon realized that all this was Shalwa's demoniac magic. Krishna immediately recovered his awareness of his own divine nature and took his powerful mace firmly in hand. Then, overriding Lord Shiva's boon of invincibility, as he had previously done in the destruction of Jarasandh, Krishna swiftly shattered the demon Shalva along with his great Vimana. Another demoniac friend of Shishupal and Shalva was Dantavakra, which literally means one whose teeth are crooked. According to the scriptures, he was the incarnation of Kumbhakarna, a great demon of Lord Rama's time. After the death of Shalva, Dantavakra walked into the battlefield, too proud even to use a chariot. He approached Krishna with a mace in his hand, saying, "It is a great fortune that I have found you, my enemy, you dullwit. Today I am going to crush your head with my big mace and pay my debt to the friends whom you have killed." Then he hurled his infallible mace at the head of Krishna, but Krishna was unaffected. Rather, Krishna took up a special mace of his own and hurled it against the chest of Dantavakra, who was quickly shattered to pieces. Seeing his brother Dantavakra destroyed, the demoniac Viduratha attacked Krishna but was quickly slain by the discus of Krishna. So let's explore the mystical meaning. The three demons that were destroyed in these episodes, Shalva, Dantavakra, and Viduratha, represent three of the five kleshas or afflictions that restrict the unfoldment of the human personality. Shalva represents asmita or ego, and Dantavakra and Viduratha represents raga and dvesha, meaning hatred and attachment. So we will continue this satsang tomorrow. This is Swami Nikhilanand. Om Tat Sat.